Hopefully helpful. Learn, implement, win. Episode 2, Shotgun Spread. When to use hipfire versus ADS. Right off the bat, I'm going to recommend you go to full screen for this because it's going to be easier to see these charts. But basically, the first chart is the shotgun spread chart, and the second one is the most accurate aiming method with each shotgun. So I'm going to start with the first one. There's two columns, the without steady aim column and the steady aim column. And there are 4 rows, one for each shotgun: the Olympia, the Stakeout, the Spaz 12, and the HS10. And as you can see under the without steady aim and with steady aim columns, there's the not moving, full movement, and ADS columns. So the first number is the placement. So like if it's number 1, like the most accurate, number 2 the second most accurate, and number 3 the least accurate out of the 3 methods. And the number in parentheses is the actual spread of the shotgun, like how the Olympia has a 5 spread when you're not moving without steady aim. The Stakeout has a 4 spread, and when it's aiming down sights, it has a 3 spread. So as you can tell, with the lower number, the more accurate it's going to be. And spread accuracy plays a huge part in the range of your shotgun because obviously it shoots multiple pellets. In the case of this game, every shot with a shotgun is going to shoot 8 pellets, and the more pellets I hit, the more likely you're going to get a kill. So the more accurate the spread, obviously the more pellets they're going to hit on average, and it's going to net you kills more and at longer ranges. Unlike other Call of Duties, when you move with a shotgun, it actually gets less accurate. Like in Call of Duty 4, when you're not moving and when you're moving, the accuracy hipfire-wise is always the same. Not in this game. So when you're not moving versus when you're moving versus when you're aiming down sights, they all have different spreads. So you want to pick the best one for your situation. So as you can see in the without steady aim column, the Olympia and the Spaz 12 are most accurate when you're not moving and using hipfire, and then second most accurate when you're aiming down sights. So if you're moving without steady aim, it's just going to be better to aim down sights because you're going to be more accurate. And if you're not moving, obviously you want to use the hipfire. As for the Stakeout and the HS10, it's kind of the opposite. The aim down sights is more accurate than the not moving and full movement hipfire. So if you're not moving, just aim down sights, and if you're moving, you want to aim down sights without steady aim. This completely changes when you put on steady aim. With all the shotguns, when you're not moving, the hipfire is always the most accurate, and for the Olympia and Spaz 12, even when you're at full movement, it's more accurate than aiming down sights, so you just fire from the hip. So for the Olympia and Spaz, you always want to fire from the hip if you have steady aim on. As for the Stakeout and HS10, if you're not moving, obviously you don't want to aim down sights, and if you're moving, you do want to aim down the sights. Do note that a 5.5 and a 5.2 spread isn't much of a difference. So for the Olympia and the Spaz, if you're moving and you feel more comfortable with aiming down the sights, then you can do that and it really won't affect it that much. And if you want to see the difference in all these spreads and what they actually look like in game, I'm going to link in the video and in the description the testing time episode 3 video where I test all these things and you can see exactly the difference in spread. So check that out if you want to. Now on to the second chart. This is going to be easier for you to tell if you want to be hip firing or using the sights for each shotgun, so I would pay attention to this if you're going to be using the shotguns and you want to be the most accurate. So for the Olympia without steady aim, when you're not moving you want to hip fire, and when you're moving you want to aim down sights. But with steady aim, you want to hip fire when you're not moving and when you are moving. For the Stakeout, when you're not using steady aim, when you're not moving and when you're moving fully, you always want to aim down sights because that's going to be the most accurate. And when you do have steady aim, when you're not moving, you want to hip fire, and when you're moving fully, you want to aim down sights. The Spaz 12 is like the Olympia. Without steady aim, when you're not moving, you want to hip fire, and when you're moving fully, you want to aim down sights. But with steady aim, when you're not moving, you want to hip fire, and when you're moving fully, you want to hip fire. The HS10 is like the Stakeout. Without steady aim, when you're not moving and when you're moving fully, you want to aim down sights. And with steady aim, when you're not moving, you want to hip fire, and when you're moving fully, you want to aim down sights. But this is kind of a unique case because the HS10 is usually dual wielded, so you can't aim down sights when you're doing that, so you're limited to hip fire. From looking at the data from these two charts, I have to say that steady aim doesn't help too much. Personally, I'd rather take sleight of hand for all the shotguns because you're going to reload faster, and there's a lot of situations where you really do need to reload so you can get those shells out there. And it really comes down to just personal preference. So I gave you all the data, I gave you the hipfire spreads, what it is without and with steady aim. I gave you the preferred method when using these shotguns, so take the data as you will and use it to your advantage. Now I was going to add some gameplay into here, but I think that this video is dragged on long enough, and I've provided you with these two charts, enough data, and I feel that I've explained myself. So I'm going to end this episode right here. And if you do want to see gameplay, as I said before, check out Testing Time episode 3, where I tested all these shotguns. The link is in annotation and in the description below. So check that out if you want to. Hope this video was helpful. Bam, said the lady.